All right, with that, we head towards our next discussion, wherein we are focusing on how to maximize your commercial opportunity by differentiating your brand and increasing product awareness in HCPs. So the discussion will be focused on how can advertising and product differentiation help a business increase its profit. So yes, that's what we're going to discuss in this session, which will be chaired by Dr. Mahesh Abhyankar. Can we please have Dr. Mahesh Abhyankar on stage, please?
Good afternoon. Let me confess at the first, when I landed here in the morning, I had no idea what to expect out of this conference. But as the day progressed and we witnessed those engrossing practical and lucid sessions, I felt very fortunate to be part of this conference. So, my big thanks to Sushanta and his team for such a wonderful conference here. I really feel guilty to be standing between you and the hot piping tea and discuss such an important topic of brand awareness. If we really look at brand awareness as a, can you just go one slide back? So, these are the three iconic brands. They have created really their own image in the Indian pharma industry. Anyone who does not know these brands? These are the brands which have actually synonymized their category in itself. But when it comes to Indian pharma industry, all our brand plans, they practically focus on one aspect, one area, that is brand preference. How do I generate prescriptions? How do I generate prescribers? The pivotal aspect of a brand plan, how my brand is more familiar to a customer, that is something a brand plan we generally miss out upon. So, today through this presentation, let us try to understand the brand awareness and its importance and what are the ways we actually focus upon brand awareness at the first step. In any brand, when we want to build up a brand equity, there are three drivers, and the starting point is brand awareness. Brand awareness is where your brand is known to the doctors, followed by your brand experience, where doctor builds up your trust, and then we reach to the level of brand loyalty, where we actually engage the repetitive usage of a customer. If we look at brand quality and brand loyalty, both these aspects, they generally target prescribers and prescription, and that is why brand awareness, because we discussed in earlier in the day that there is no measure for brand awareness, there is no measure to the noise, and that is the reason we miss out on this aspect. While top of the mind is our own objective, our objective for each brand is to have a top of the mind recall, but we generally end up somewhere between no awareness and recognition. So, that is where we generally end up with every brand what we launch. The biggest challenge why it happens, one of the reasons is that the brand awareness can be created primarily during the initiation, introduction and the growth phase of the product life cycle. However, what happens in this phase, there is a big dilemma all of we have. This is the practical guide by Trevor Ackerman. What he says that the factors which affect for either a innovator or a generic brand, they are different. Apart from the popularity and emotional connect with a doctor, the largest factor that affects to a generic brand is the price, whereas it is the rationality of the product which is very critical as far as the innovator brand is concerned. Now, let us look at the stakeholders who are involved in building the brand awareness. Internationally, if we look at, there are multiple stakeholders who actually play a vital role in terms, because if you go to USA, direct to consumer advertising is all over, there are insurance groups. So, your brand can be promoted through multiple windows, but in India we still continue to rely on a single channel, that is doctors. This is a study which is one of the rare studies available in the pharma industry, and this study by Panchal et al. Suggests that there are 8 aspects which are really critical as far as building the brand awareness is concerned. Couple of aspects we can discuss it in the upcoming slides. And when it comes to innovator versus branded generic, innovators have a little edge as far as utilizing these aspects are concerned. So, whether they are KOL endorsement, whether they are scientific promotion or the absolute basics like visit and the exposure of doctor, all these elements they play a very vital role. This is another study. This study, in addition to the factors what we discussed in the previous slide, also studies e-marketing as well as the celebrity endorsement. While e-marketing continues to, as we discussed throughout the day, it continues to play a very vital role as far as brand awareness is concerned. Celebrity endorsement is actually not found very significant in terms of building brand awareness. Now, let us look at couple of important aspects. Let us start with the marketing communication and personal selling and what is its role in terms of brand awareness. So, this is one study which we recently did, and it suggests that on an average the call time what an individual medical rep gets is only 167 seconds. Only 3 brands is what a medical rep is able to detail to a doctor, out of which the highest time is dedicated to the number 1 brand. Now, this is what we all witness whenever we actually work in the field. Now, under these circumstances, how do I place a new brand? Because a new brand is the one which requires highest brand awareness. What kind of detailing strategy I follow, whether it is informative or persuasive? What kind of detailing plan I should have? So, this is one of the major challenges. According to, if you look at the research done on this subject, Narayan and Manchanda 2009, they have studied the impact of informative detailing, and one of the important and critical aspects is information is useful only in first 10 calls. So, when we launch a brand, the window of creating awareness is within the first 10 calls. After that, it is all persuasion, it is all about creating a brand recall, requesting a doctor, because by that time doctor has learned everything. In 2011, in his paper, E et al. Has actually debated about 2 things. One is the predetermined detailing plan versus the customized detailing strategy. In predetermined detailing plan, what we generally refer to as a doctor product matrix, we fix up the brand to be promoted at the top of the ladder. But when it comes to customized detailing strategy, it is about giving that flexibility to medical rep to choose which brand he details to a doctor. Now, when it comes to brand detailing and creating brand awareness, the biggest dilemma as a marketers what we have is, I am launching a new brand, it is a prospect, it does not give me any sales. My number 1 detail brand is a old established brand, my sales, my target depends on it. If I do not detail my new brand at a number 1 position, I do not give highest time to it, I cannot create a brand awareness. And if I detail it at number 1 position, how do I generate, which brand should I sacrifice? And that is the biggest dilemma all of us have to address when we want to create a brand awareness. Another important and critical aspect is the role of branding in creating brand awareness. Now, brand name itself is considered to be one of the highest and most effective ways of influencing brand awareness amongst the doctors, and it includes the entire brand design. One of the things we generally ignore is a very thoughtful brand naming strategies. There are 4 strategies, whether it can be global branding, it can be family branding, you can choose absolutely new name, or you can look at corporate branding. What do we do? This is our Indian jugaad. Pick up a generic, add whatever comes in the morning to your mind, add it. What medical rep does? Sir, remember your stars, you will remember my name. Sir, in the day, prescribe my day. So, day, night, star, fort, tab, save, life, whatever the word is available in the earth, add it as a suffix and your brand name is ready next day morning for the launch. Does it helps? Ask the question. Now, coming to the corporate and family branding. Corporate and family branding, it gives you head start. If you do not believe, you will trust me now. Won't you agree? All of them have benefit of corporate or family branding. This is the biggest example. Tata is the biggest example in the Indian scenario how they have leveraged corporate branding, right from selling Nexon to selling salt to your wife to selling medicines in our household. They have leveraged their corporate branding absolutely everywhere. Still in pharma, we underutilize corporate branding. This is one of the study done globally with the oncologist, and 3 critical elements the corporate branding affects. It gives higher time in terms of medical rep for a call. It creates more willingness for the doctors to participate in the trials as well as to endorse the brands. So, remember and use corporate branding as one of the elements. Buzz marketing is something where you can create an infectious chatter and actually absolute street level involvement, word of the mouth kind of publicity. Take this example of Arjun Tendulkar. The day he hit the century, like father, like son. He is not the first person to hit the century on the debut, but he has been marketed well. And buzz marketing, when it has been employed in pharma industry, it is found to be highly significant in terms of building brands. Another critical aspect, again we miss: positioning, segmentation and brand awareness. Anybody need to tell you which brand this punchlines belongs to? Everybody knows? Now, please tell me which brands these punchlines belong to. Every single brand manager writes this line the moment he wants to launch a brand. Another aspect, experience plays very important role, and that has been proven to through studies. They have huge impact on brand awareness. Yet, we do not know how to build the experience despite we are having all the ammunitions with us, whether it is patient initiation kits, whether it is clinical trials, patient enrollment programs, everything we have at our disposal. One of the reasons, our end objective is ROI. Please remember, the measure of brand awareness is not ROI. Measure of brand awareness is how many doctors recognize my brand, how many doctors recall my brands. 2 clear measures. We do not have a data set. We should create a data set through absolutely practical and primary research. This is something which we do very well. Tell me a brand and company who does not know. Every single CV in a pharma marketer tells, I know so many KOLs, I have conducted so many symposia. So, that is our absolutely most important KRA. So, I do not spend time on this. I believe 60% of the time you have been wonderful audience listening to what digital marketing can do. Yet, we only utilize 2 things: social media and email. Please remember, this data which I found out, it suggests there are huge followers, yet do we use it and leverage it for brand launches? We are looking at exciting initiatives which are coming up into the digital space, but ask a question: is digital marketing helping you? Is digital marketing replaces your day to day marketing? One of the reasons we still have question marks and don't have answers is the challenges with digital marketing. We do not have holistic and integrated strategy. I think this has been debated throughout the day, but the biggest issue in the digital marketing is the digital fatigue. There is so much digital happening without understanding the ground principle of digital marketing. You as a customer think about it. I use banking because it helps me achieve my service. It delivers me a service. It is of my interest. What we are pushing to a doctor is of my interest. Why would he be interested? Marketing has to change, and when you will deliver him what is of his interest, that time digital marketing will succeed. Eventually, we have couple of very time tested medias, but very costly from brand awareness window. So, we can do them, but yet restrictions of cost and budget will come in case of these mediums. This is one of the very important aspects for brand awareness which we underutilize, that is availability. Have you ever launched a brand saying it is the most available brand in the market? Yet, if you look at the COVID-19 scenario, highest amount of the brand sales came to the brands which were most available. Still during the introduction to growth phase, availability never becomes our core objective, our core strategy. So, to summarize, brand awareness is a very critical yet neglected element of our brand plan. So, all what we have to do is to, like we create an objective of prescriptions, objectives of PYD, we should have an objective on number of doctors who can recognize my brand and number of doctors who can recall my brand. Strategies are not new. We need to know which of them will work for me and how do I utilize for them. On this note, I thank you all of you. You have been a wonderful audience and it's been great talking to you.
I invite the panelists, Vishnu as well as Sanjay, on the stage. Give a big hands to them. Girish also. Yeah. I think everybody understood that in our brand plan, there will be a one column of brand awareness, and there are a lot of points Girish has already touched upon. So, in 15 to 20 minutes, we will talk about around 7 to 8 points which can be included in the brand plan, so that your practicality will be relatively easy. I will start with Vishnu. I think brand may be there for 10 years, but the doctor who comes into the practice new, for example, intern or postgraduate student, now they are not aware about brand. So, what are your thoughts about brand awareness for budding doctors?
See, every company for that matter, we have this catch them youngs as a strategy. So that is a part of every brand plan or every thing. So I'm saying that what pivotal point we are missing is straight away we are considering them straight away as a doctors. They are students. We have to have approach PGs and the other interns are the students, and we have to have a strategy for that particular students, not having a business into account, in make them just help them in terms of their education, knowledge, academics. This is our pivotal role there. If you do that, a subtle promotion of branding help in terms of is getting that particular brand recognized. Straight away our people jump into terms of ROI and all these things, with at that point of time they will not be able to give. So I certainly see this particular doctors, PGs should be handled as a future doctors, not on the current itself we have to just bombard with the business.
Yeah, I think this is a good answer, because the brand awareness at the postgraduate requires a slightly different thinking than the traditional doctors. Now, since morning we have seen a lot of thought about social media, and there was a song called as Tu Jahan Jahan Chalega, Mera Saya Saath Hoga. So similarly, there was a dialogue called as wherever you go, my network follows. So now the doctor today is on social media. So as a brand manager, since morning we are looking at the marketing in the digital world. So how do you place that social media awareness about the current brands?
If at all you just ask me this question, since morning we have heard so many things. To me, if at all, we need say it's a bridge between your product and your consumers, and what the product is able to speak about it. If we just see that the product has functional benefits as well as non-functional benefits. For consumer-centric products, you can definitely market your functional benefits, and they are being perceived by the customers very fast, and they are able to see their color, size, price, every other thing. For pharma marketeers, we should see that what are the non-functional benefits the product is able to offer. So it can be offered through some service also. But I just see that we are not able to sell a product directly to the doctor besides some sunscreens and other things. Can we create some awareness about the disease as such? Can we take that space in a big way whereby the doctor perceives a strong association of that disease with our brand? Like a classical example over here I just want to narrate is HPV virus was discussed internationally by Roche, the diagnostic kit. Glaxo in India started with a print about that this is the biggest contributor to the cervical cancer. And a subtle way that now if you see right now, stand-up comedians talk about it, they don't talk about brand. Every other platform, every other social platform talks about that HPV virus. And they talk about the human health, everything. And believe you me, the moment you go to a doctor and ask about it, the doctor's top of the brand recall comes the GSK product. Although there are some brands also available now. So that's what I see, that the differentiation should be created in this way, whereby we can have a strong association of the disease. That's the way, because we cannot sell directly the products to the doctor, to the patient, sorry.
I think very valid point that we, as a brand manager, we also have to spend our time as well as money on the social media marketing. Now, whether it is a doctors starting from the LBL or the digital, the one important part is that the buzzword is like content is the king. So I feel that content is not only the king, but it is also queen, jack and ace also. Right, so it is very important is that what is the importance of content in brand awareness and how much attention has to be given by the brand manager, Girish, I think. Yeah.
See, as far as content is concerned, probably content becomes the number one aspect for spreading the brand awareness. As I shared in my slides, how we take the approach in terms of detailing, what kind of content we place at a given product stages of the product life cycle, it becomes very, very vital. When the doctor requires the information at that point of time, am I able to reach with the exact information or not? If you have the relevant information, new information during the introduction stage, probably that is where your brand would be known to the doctor. When it comes to the stages where doctor has already learned about your brand, at that point of time, the information or the content which is more relevant for differentiating your brand. There are 4 actually real strategies to differentiate the brand, and in terms of the content, the differentiation can be, you can talk about your drug delivery system, you can talk about your features of the brand. So your content needs to be modified according to the stage at which you are going to promote the brand. But when it comes to the launches and the awareness, it has to be 100% scientific, and that scientific promotion, and it should not be restricted only to the call. That has to be again an holistic strategy. It should involve all the CMEs, ECMEs, it should have the KOL endorsement, and the same concept and same root theme needs to be propagated during the first 3 to 6 months, 6 months of the launch, and that plays a vital role as far as brand awareness is concerned.
So I think whenever we make any brand related inputs, it is very essential we have to gauge it by out of 10, how much you can gauge in terms of scientific content, whether it is 6, 7, 8 or 9. Now, another important point for brand managers is obviously a brand recall. But Vishnu, can you tell that how to carve a journey from brand recall to next stage is brand dominance? It's not a just recall, but how to dominate in a competitive market.
See, in the total journey of from brand recall to brand dominance, let us keep it simple. It's only 4 things. In my opinion, it defines the things. It is the first point, content, which has already been told by Girish. Second is consistency in our approach and consistency in whatever we are doing. Third is discipline. And fourth is a continuous innovation or improvisation of our. See, these 4, if it is there, I think I have seen many brands, right from Telma, right from Selakar, any brand for that. They kept it very simple. If they follow this particular 4 process, it is they can slowly move from it. The time may vary. It may be 5 years, it may be 10 years. But I'm saying that if these 4 things are kept in mind, I think we can move from brand recall to brand dominance.
No, guys, just Farida was also mentioning that the current market dynamics is basically VUCA. Now, during that time, it is very essential is that the brand awareness has to be done along with the brand differentiation, because there is a big competition which is available. So one of the strategy for that is, I think, emotional appeal. I think, Sanjay, can you tell your own experience that if you touch upon the doctor's mindset, definitely it will create a differentiation?
See, in fact, there's one small incident I will just try to see that most of the times we don't know our customers very well. You go to any insurance company for an interview, they will tell you that how many people you know. The second question is, suppose I was interviewed by one person, so I told him that I know close to 300 doctors. He said to me, how many numbers you have fed? So I say 100. Out of them, how many you know very core? I said 50. Can I even more specific? I said 30. He said, do you know their spouse name? So it was brought down to 10. So do you know their children name? It was brought down to 5. The same thing happens to us. Suppose there is a CME, we just need to invite people particularly. We randomly call people. We don't look into the academic interests. We don't segregate them. So if at all, unless and until we don't know the customers very well, what touched them, in what way there is going to be a differentiation created, because everybody has its own set of priorities, then till that time it's very difficult to do it. But yes, one generalized what we can see that, how you can just compliment them. I saw very recently one campaign done by IPCA, whereby they had made a tree like something, and on a birthday of a doctor, there are patients writing on the every leaf and just completing the tree. And I saw it right now, even after so many days. It's still hanging there in each and every clinic. That makes real difference, because that means you are just touching him emotionally, because by the end of the day, he is also a human being. Secondly, if at all there is something, because for the doctor, the dearest to him is patient, whether you agree it or not. If at all there is some activity, whether the patient can do it for the doctor, a doctor on this day can do it for the patient. These are some of the appealing on the emotional side of it. But yes, a lot more needs to be done in knowing the doctors, in knowing our customers very well.
Yeah, I think, Girish, during your presentation, you were talking about the in-clinic time which is spent is around 160 seconds. So it is like 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes. Now, what is important is that how to differentiate the brand so that that 2 minutes can become 3 minutes or 4 minutes. I think since you have presented, let you only answer that question.
See, this is the biggest challenge as of today we have. There are 4 real differentiators, as I said earlier. Number 1 is the innovation. You have the original patented molecule. The moment you have a product, you get all the right to increase the time till the time doctor learns about the product. Second aspect in the differentiation is about price, and that is what generally has been played out across all the branded generics. Third differentiator is availability, and fourth real differentiator is the drug delivery systems. These are the 4 differentiators till the time you are unique. you get enhanced time in the doctor's chamber. Then in addition to these 4 differentiators, there are 2 or 3 intangible differentiators. One of them can be emotional content, and second is the rational content. Rationality comes into the picture particularly when you want to differentiate a therapy against other therapy. So it against more apt for the innovators. When it comes to the branded generic products, it is all about how much emotional appeal and emotional bonding you can create, and that's where, because this becomes really challenging. One of the reasons nowadays that when every brand is getting launched, there is one third party manufacturer. On a single line, tablets are getting manufactured. Same strip is been printed, minus the logo. Patient doesn't know which strip belongs to which company. And with the generic brands, doctor also doesn't know which brand belongs to which company. Under these circumstances, you need to identify at least 3 to 4 pseudo differentiators. Why I call them pseudo differentiators? Because you are trying to augment a in undifferentiated brand. That can be patient-centric services, that can be scientific knowledge provided against the brand. So you need to pick up one USP for your brand and associate with it, and that's how you can actually differentiate. Otherwise, the moment you want to launch 30-40 brands on the same day, the handling the challenge is all lies with what work you do 60 to 90 days before in really charting out that plan on differentiating your product. Because today's world, if you are not an innovator, you hardly has any physical advantage as far as product is concerned.
Yeah, I think one more component of brand plan is basically service, right? So there are a lot of CRM services planned for the doctors. But today I think that CRM services are happening for last 20 years. So what is important is that in the CRM also, I think Vishnu, can you tell that how you can differentiate and make it a wow factor, what is very, very critical now. It's from the customer delight, it has become a wow factor. Next, right? So even in the service which is planned, it may be as smallest is like a camp, or biggest may be a big CRM kind of a thing. So how to create a differentiation there?
See, gone are those days, they say customer is a king. So nowadays we have to say customer is a queen, because queen are more demanding than king. So I'm saying that customers are becoming more demanding. So obviously, no longer we can strategize anything in terms of meeting the customer expectation. We have to exceed the customer expectation. That is what. So we started from making the customer happy once upon a time when we were all in the level of promoting the product. So then came satisfied customer, now delighting the customer. So I'm saying the phase is changing, and no longer satisfied customer gives a result. It's only the delighted customer gives the result. So we have to do whatever to delight the doctor. That is the reason nowadays everything is going into personalization. Even the invitation is personalized now. Greeting card is greetings for every festivals is getting personalized. Videos are getting personalized, because they are just jumping into how from satisfaction they have to run into delighting a customer. Yeah, one of my earlier CEO used to say, Dr. Ganesh Nayak used to say that nowadays strategies are generic. The innovation is in only execution. The execution is the only part where we can create that particular wow factor. I'm saying that nowadays only 4 buckets are there, 4 or 5 strategies on the whole. If you see CME, camp, sampling, gifting, so everything comes under that. So I am saying that we have to create the differentiation only in terms of our in terms of our execution.
I think very important point. I will take last question for everybody, because this is the most important question which is there, which is related to brand plan and making any brand. Because when I started my career, it was my first month, and the boss was a BU head of Cipla Protec at that time, and there was a training manager. He came, sir, I have conducted a very nice training program. The rating was like this, and now I am conducting second program. And that BU head asked, कि इसमें नया क्या करने वाले हो? Now that is a story of that. The same thing happens is that the innovation is the key for any form. And now there is a time which has come is that whether you are making a LBL or whether you are devising the CRM, what innovation you are doing is very, very important. First question I think brand manager has to answer. Everybody just quick about innovation in the brand planning or making any brand inputs. Yes, Sanjay.
Yeah, see, you can just look into some of the differentiated activities where it depends on the therapies per se. Vet it with some of the key opinion leaders. Not only that, you can just have some observational studies yourselves. And that's definitely going to be a very, very big plan. Just keep in mind that the dynamics on the customer front is also changing, particularly the patient front. So do we just need to just have some lot of insights around that? Because if at all you have those kind of insights, there is a lot of innovation definitely can be driven from there. Then that can be just married into the brand plan, and you can just present a very good strategy, overall brand strategy, and it can lead to some innovation in that way. Yes. So customer insight definitely is a key pivotal role in terms of innovation.
Girish, quick comment.
Innovation, from a brand manager's point of view, I will not limit only to the product. It can also be limited to visualizing how can I offer my product, what can be the next line extension of the product which can be developed in-house by my team. Innovation also can be what kind of data or what kind of indication where the data is lacking and what kind of studies I do. Innovation also can relate to, can I actually create the clinical trials properly with the experimental design, and I generate. Today we spend a lot of money into the day-to-day operational strategies right from gifting. Can we think in a way where I spend money, I budget for doing a trial which gives me hardcore data, and that data becomes my talking point as far as doctor's call is concerned. So generating data also can become one way of innovation. So in today's world where brand product is not been able to innovated or differentiated, innovation also, like my colleagues have said, the patient centricity or patient offerings can also become part of your innovation. What my medical rep can do in the doctor's chamber, innovation can also be looked at the way my medical representative presents my brand. So there are multiple avenues. Innovation can also be done as far as getting the endorsements from the therapy leaders are concerned. Another aspect which I believe in terms of innovation is, though we have been using large scale CMEs and KOL endorsements during the COVID period digitally, one thing I believe is the consistency is something which has been missing. What has happened during COVID, that webinars or the e-CMEs became a novelty. It has picked up to a level where there is a digital fatigue. And after that, every single brand manager dropped that as a strategy, because he knew every salesperson gave a feedback, no doctor is willing to join online. So one medical rep is sitting with 5 mobiles and he is joining with 5 mobiles. That's what is happening. But after this clutter went through, those CMEs survived which was still continuing. Doctor also tries to differentiate what is for me. So innovating the delivery of content, the quality of content also becomes very, very essential. There are doctors, they know that yes, you give me the quality content and it helps me. What is my purpose? My purpose is to treat my patient better. And eventually our goal has to help doctor treat his patient better. When we achieve this goal, probably our initiatives will get differentiated and we will have multiple innovations. You can also find out ways to innovate the formulation, which is possible. And can we proactively put up proposals? Today it may not be approved by the DCGI because it involves cost. But as a brand manager, am I willing to propose a combination, and am I willing to propose whatever is the cost of getting that combination into the market, including all the trials and the evidence and the data needed. I get that head start and I get at least 6 months to 1 year of the time ahead. So that in that angle also we can look at innovating the brands.
Yeah, thank you. I think Girish, because innovation can be applied across the value chain. Last comment, yeah, Vishnu, on the same process.
So I think most of the points covered by Girish and Sanjay. See, I say that whenever we are innovating a new campaign or innovating something in terms of our product promotion, I think buying in of our medical reps are very, very important. I think it has to be many of the innovation I seen has been failed, which is created by the marketing team is failed because it has not been implemented properly. So I feel that the proper buying in and also the proper training has to be given to them so that whatever you are taught in terms of the actual implementation has gone through very well. So that is a very key. I'm saying that the rest of the part in terms of how innovation is very important, I think they have been covered. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it is very, very essential is that the brand managers also should take a training on innovation, generating ideas or design thinking as well as lateral thinking, so that they start thinking out of the box, which is a need of not only current, but we are looking for future. So future brand manager has to be innovative brand manager. That is very, very important because there are many companies we have appointed now innovation managers. Starting from the R&D to sales, all the value chain, how innovation, his only job is to innovate in every aspect of the pharmaceutical company. Thank you. I think it's a very good panel discussion. Give a big round of applause.
Taking this opportunity, let me congratulate my friend Sushant Jana. I think as Girish told, I also came with very less expectation actually. I think it is beyond expectation. It's a very, very good job done, Sushant. Very, very great. Thank you.
Yeah, many congratulations, Sushant. We will be looking forward for this event next year also. All the best to you.
Thank you, Dr. Mahesh, for moderating the session so well, and a big thank you to all our delegates for giving time to our session today and for giving such valuable insights to all our audience members today. Thank you so much once again for joining us. Before you leave, can I please ask Dr. Mahesh to present a memento and a bouquet to Mr. Sanjay Bhatt and Mr. LCS Sri Vishnu. Can I please request, sir, to please take the bouquet and the memento and please present to our dignitaries. Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Can we have the next memento, please?